Imagine standing before a stone so massive it could crush a house, carved with footprints too big for any human, or staring up at a gate built for a warrior who towered over armies. These aren't just stories from the Bible, they're real places, etched with secrets that make your heart race. From a temple in Syria to a wheel of stones in the Golan Heights, the ancient world left us clues about giants, gods, and dreams that defy time. Were these built by mortals, or did something colossal walk among us? Join me on a journey through 5 biblical mysteries: the Ain Dara Temple, Goliath's Gates, Og's Bed, the Wheel of Giants, and Baalbek's Nimrod Stones. These are stories of faith, fear, and wonders that still whisper to us. Buckle up, this is going to shake your soul. The Ain Dara Temple, footprints of a god. Picture yourself in northern Syria, 1300 BC. You're standing at the entrance of the Ain Dara Temple, a place carved from basalt and mud, guarded by stone lions and sphinx that stare through time. For centuries, it lay buried under olive groves, forgotten until 1955, when a farmer's plow hit a massive stone lion. What archaeologists uncovered wasn't just a temple, it was a mirror of Solomon's temple from the Bible, with the same 3-room design, the same grand stairway, the same sacred chamber called the Holy of Holies. But Ain Dara held a secret that stopped them cold. Giant footprints, each over 3 feet long, carved deep into the stone. You see one at the entrance, another 30 feet away, and a third near the innermost chamber. No human could take such strides. Were these the steps of a god, like Balhada, the storm deity, or Ishtar, goddess of lions, claiming their sacred home? Or do they echo the Nephilim, the giants of Genesis, born from gods and mortals? These footprints weren't just art. They were proof to the ancients that something massive, something divine, walked here. Dr. Amina Hallel, an archaeologist who studied the site, says, "Standing in those footprints, you feel small, like you're trespassing on a god's path." But heartbreak came in 2018. A Turkish airstrike turned Ain Dara to rubble, and looters stole its iconic lion. Now, only photos and memories remain. Those footprints, though, still haunt us. Were they carved to honor a myth, or did they mark the steps of a giant who shook the earth? Imagine standing there, tracing those carvings, wondering what truths were lost in the dust. What would you feel, knowing something that big once stood where you are? The Goliath Gates, a city built for a giant. Now let's travel to southern Israel, to a hill called Tel Safi, where the biblical city of Gath once stood, the home of Goliath, the giant David defeated with a single stone. In 2015, archaeologists uncovered a gate so massive it felt like it was built for a titan. 13 feet thick, made of stone 6 feet wide, it guarded a city twice the size of ancient Jerusalem. This wasn't just a gate, it was a fortress, with plastered mud brick walls, an iron smelting site, and a temple ready for war. Built in the 11th century BC, the time of David and Goliath, it felt like the Bible coming to life. Goliath's height, nearly 8 feet, has puzzled scholars forever. Was he real or a myth? Archaeologist Jeffrey Chadwick has a wild theory. Goliath's height matched the gate's walls, a symbol of Gath's unbreakable strength. No giant bones were found, but the clues are chilling. A pottery shard with names like Goliath surfaced nearby. The Philistines, Gath's people, carried DNA from ancient Greece, where myths of cyclopean giants built massive walls. Aristotle himself believed only giants could move such stones. When King Hazael of Aram burned Gath in 830 BC, its secrets were buried until now. Stand before that gate, and you can almost see Goliath, his shadow looming over the battlefield. Was he a man, a legend, or the spirit of a city that refused to fall? The stones don't lie, but they don't tell the whole truth either. What would it be like to walk through a gate built for a giant, knowing a boy's faith brought it down? The bed of Og, a giant's final rest. Journey now to Bashan, in modern-day Syria and Jordan, where legends whisper of Og, the last of the giant kings. The Bible says his bed was an iron slab, 13 feet long and 6 feet wide, a resting place for a warrior who ruled 60 walled cities. His people, the Rephaim, were giants tied to gods of the dead. When Moses faced Og at Adre, he didn't just win a battle, he erased a race. Only Og's bed remained, a monument to a forgotten king. In 1918, archaeologist Gustav Dahlmann found a dolmen tomb near Amman, its size matching Og's bed perfectly, a grave for someone over 13 feet tall. Thousands of these megalithic tombs dot Bashan, their capstones heavier than Stonehenge's, some over 50 tons. How did ancient builders move them? Some say they honored the dead with sacred monuments. Others believe the Rephaim themselves, giant kings turned divine ancestors, lie beneath. Dr. Omar Saleh, who studied these tombs, says, these aren't just graves. They're altars to a world we've lost. Close your eyes and imagine lying on that cold, massive slab, the weight of a giant's legacy pressing down. Was Og a myth, a king, or something more? The stones hold their secrets, daring us to wonder who or what rests in Bashan's shadows. What would you feel standing in the presence of a giant's grave? The Wheel of Giants, a monument to the unknown. High in the Golan Heights, the wind howls across a plain where stones tell a story older than words. From the ground, it's just rubble. But from the sky, it's a masterpiece, 5 concentric circles, 500 feet wide, built from 40,000 tons of basalt. This is Gilgal Rephaim, the Wheel of Giants, one of the oldest structures in the Near East, dating to 3000 BC or earlier. Its walls rise 8 feet, a burial cairn at its center, like the heart of a cosmic puzzle. No homes, no tools, no clues, just stones, perfectly placed. Was it a tomb for sky burials, where vultures carried souls to the heavens? A temple for ancient rituals? Or a map for gods watching from above? The Bible links the Rephaim to giants, and the name Wheel of Giants feels like a hint. Archaeologist Joseph Garfinkel says, this place feels alive, like it's waiting for someone to return. No one knows who built it or why, but its silence is deafening. Imagine standing in that circle, the wind whispering secrets of a lost world. Were these stones laid by giants, priests, or dreamers reaching for the stars? The Wheel of Giants doesn't answer it, just asks us to keep searching. What would you build to be remembered forever? The Nimrod Stones, a temple too big for mortals. In Lebanon's Bekaa Valley, the ruins of Baalbek stand like a challenge to reality. 3 stones, each heavier than a jumbo jet, form the Trilithon 750-ton blocks hauled 800 meters from a quarry to build a platform for Rome's grandest temple to Jupiter. But these stones predate Rome, built by hands we can't trace. Nearby, the quarry holds giants. The stone of the pregnant woman, 1,000 tons, and another 1,650 tons, found in 2014, still clinging to the earth. Medieval tales say Nimrod, Noah's mighty hunter, sent giants to build Baalbek for the sun god Baal, rivaling the Tower of Babel. Others claim Cain hid here from God, or Solomon used genies to craft it for the Queen of Sheba. In 1860, David Urquhart stood before these stones, his mind paralyzed by their impossibility. Modern engineers suggest winches and rollers, but why build with megaton stones in a remote valley? Dr. Layla Hassan, an archaeologist, says, these stones feel like a dare to us, to the gods, to time itself. Stand before the Trilithon, and you feel small, like an ant staring at a mountain. Were these stones laid by giants, or by mortals desperate to touch the divine? Baalbek doesn't explain, it demands awe. What would it take to move a stone heavier than history? Ain Dara's footprints, Goliath's gates, Og's bed, the Wheel of Giants, Baalbek's stones, these aren't just ruins. They're echoes of a world where giants might have walked, where humans built to touch the heavens. Were they myths, gods, or something we've forgotten? Each stone, each carving, feels like a question we're not meant to answer, a story that pulls us closer to the divine. These places remind us that even thousands of years ago, people dreamed bigger than we can imagine, leaving mysteries that still stir our souls. So, which of these wonders speaks to you? Do you believe in giants? Or are these just stones with stories? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if this journey gave you chills. And subscribe for more tales that make the past feel alive. Thanks for coming along. Let's keep chasing the shadows of giants together.